speaking to me, came and woke me up as a man is wakened from sleep. And he said to me, "What do you see?" So I said, "I have looked and I see a lampstand, all of gold, with a bowl on top of it. And on the stand, 7 lamps with 7 spouts to the 7 lamps." Okay, so bowl. Okay, so there's a bowl. This is one thing that I just missed. Let's just say there's a bowl here, okay? And there's 7 spouts. Okay, so there's 7 spouts from this bowl to the lampstand, okay? That makes even a better picture. And 2 olive trees are by it, one at the right of the bowl and the other at its left. Then I responded and spoke to the messenger who was speaking to me, saying, "What are these, my master?" asking of the 2 olive trees. And the messenger who was speaking to me answered and said to me, "Do you not know what these are?" And I said, "No, my master." And he answered and said to me, "This is the word of Yahuah to Zerubbabel." Okay. Clearly stated, he said, this is the word of Yahuah. So we can say that these 2 olive trees represent the word of Yahuah. So now, also, I want you to see this picture right here. First of all, we have this tree on one side and this tree on the other side, and the menorah in the center. What does the menorah represent according to the scriptures? This is the first clue. Huh?
Spirits.
Well, the 7 spirits, we talk about the 7 spirits, but what is the menorah? In the temple?
Messiah.
Yes, thank you, the Messiah. Let's go to Matthew chapter 17, verse 2. And it says, "And after 6 days, Yahushua took Kepha and Yochanan and Yaakov and brought them up on a high mountain by themselves. And he, Yahushua, was transformed before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as the light. And see, Moshe and Eliyahu appeared to them, talking with him." So this is a picture of the transfiguration, because this is the Messiah in the center, and on one side is Moshe. Can't get that off. Let's say one side is Moshe, holding the 10 Commandments, figuratively. Okay, and the other side is Elijah, holding the scroll of the prophets. So we have this being, let's say this one olive tree is like the Torah. Because it says in Zechariah, it says that these 2 olive trees are the word of Yahuah. This side is the prophets. So let's go back to Zechariah. Then I responded and spoke to the messenger. It says, back to verse 6. And he said and answered to me, "This is the word of Yahuah to Zerubbabel. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said Yahuah of hosts. Who are you, great mountain, before Zerubbabel a plain? And he shall bring forth the capstone with shouts of favor to it. And the word of Yahuah came to me, saying, The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of his house, and his hands shall complete it. And you shall know that Yahuah of hosts has sent me to you, for who has despised the day of small beginnings?" So it says, they shall rejoice when they see the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel, these 7 eyes of Yahuah, these seven are the eyes of Yahuah, which diligently search throughout all the earth. Then I responded and said to him, what are these 2 olive trees, one at the right and one at the of the lampstand, the other at its left? And I responded a second time and said to him, what are these 2 olive branches which empty golden oil from themselves by means of the 2 gold pipes? So he says, and he answered me and said, do you not know what these are? And I said, no, my master, I don't. And he said, these are the 2 anointed ones who stand beside the master of all the earth. Now in the Transfiguration, we see that perfectly. We see Mashiach, who has transfigured himself, transformed himself to the being that he was before he came as a man. And the one was on his right was Elijah, and the other one on his left was Moshe. I don't know which way it was. But I would say it was just like this, you know, just according to the prophecy in Zechariah. So this is very important for us to understand that his 2 witnesses, of course, are Moshe and Elijah, which represent the Torah and the prophets. But the other thing is that if we bear that truth, the Torah and the prophets, on our shoulders, then we become witnesses as well. Right. And this is bore out through Joshua and Caleb. You know, they were walking, they were sent as spies to go out into the land, and they said, whatever, he said, I want you to bring fruit from that land to see whether the land is good or not. So, here comes Joshua and Caleb, and they're bearing on a pole this fruit that was just huge, and it was abundant. And this fruit came from the Wadi Eshkol. And the word Eshkol means, it's the same word where we get, it's a root word where we get our word for school. And school is where we get our teachings. And so this literally, this pole that they were bearing, they had these grapes on there. Well, what were these grapes representing? They were showing that the land was good. And so these grapes were a teaching for the children of Israel that the land was good, and don't fear. No matter if there's giants there, no matter if there's what, the land is good. And so they were bearing on their shoulders the witness. The witness. But Joshua and Caleb became witnesses to the fact that the land was good. That's right. So we do the same thing. Moses and Elijah, they witnessed together that the word of Yahuah is good. And so now we have another picture. Sorry if I have to erase this. I'll go ahead and draw, you know, Joshua and Caleb. They're you know, holding this pole on their shoulders. And they have the grapes, huge grapes, probably the size of basketballs, I don't know. And it's showing them that the word is, that the land is good. Well, so Joshua and Caleb are witnesses. We also have another prophecy that talks about the 2 sticks, the one stick of Judah and the one stick of Ephraim, which is in the hand of Yahuah, or the Messiah. And he said that this is the one, this is for Judah, and this is one for Ephraim. And these 2 would become one in the hand of Yahuah. Well, in the Brit Hadashah, it talks about how we are also his witnesses. And the way that we become witnesses is if we bear the truth on our shoulders. If that becomes our burden, and we bear the truth on our shoulders, and so we become witnesses. And so it's a very beautiful thing. You know, and I know in Revelation it says that these two witnesses would be killed, and that their bodies would lie in the street. But if you look closely, it never says literally two men. It says two witnesses. Could it be that it's saying that when all of this havoc happens around the world, that his two witnesses would undergo a tremendous tribulation period, and a lot of people will die? But just like the prophecy in Ezekiel 37, where the dry bones, the dead bones will receive life back into it. Yep. And they will be given life again. And they will become this. You know, we have these two sticks, Ephraim and Judah. What is it that causes them to become one in Yahuwah's hand? I believe it's persecution. I believe it's the anti-Messiah coming against us and spreading all kinds of terrible, tragic rumors against us. Right. And trying to get the world to come and fight against us. But, you know, he's going to raise us up again. And in the midst of this tragedy, we are going to seek out those who have the word of Yahuwah. And we will become one. All of our pettiness will drop off. We will have no more pettiness between us. We will look for the most important parts of our being. And that should be the word that dwells within us. But let me point out to you guys, speaking of the tribulation that's coming. This tribulation that's coming is going to become our giants. Okay? Yahuwah has told us and commanded us to go in and spy out the land to see whether it's good or not. Now, this tribulation, we shouldn't be afraid of it. Just like Joshua and Caleb, they weren't supposed to be afraid of it. None of the children of Israel were supposed to be afraid of it. But those who were afraid of the giants were not victorious. Joshua and Caleb were very victorious. Yeah. And so that's why it gives me great comfort and great understanding, because I know that if I'm in Him, then I am in His hand. Yeah. And He will not forsake us, and He will not leave us. That's right. Amen? Yeah. And if He's going to raise us up, and He's going to cause us to be His two witnesses, Ephraim and Judah. The TRF is for the two houses of Israel. That's right. We state that plainly and clearly. Hallelujah.